Okay, hello there. I'm Dennis. Welcome to my channel. And in this video, we're going to talk about Calculate Linux. Calculate Linux is based on Gentoo, which is what brought me to Calculate Linux. If you follow my channel, you know now I'm a Gentoo fan guy. I like Gentoo. I do like Calculate now after living in it for a little while. I do like Calculate Linux. I still hadn't decided if I like Calculate Linux better than Gentoo because I don't think there's really an option for whether I like it or not. I think that they both equally good. They both serve a great purpose. My experiences in Gentoo have definitely carried over into Calculate Linux. But that's enough about me. Let's look at Calculate Linux. Go over to my desktop here. When you install Firefox, like I did, when you open it up, you're going to get this Start Calculate Linux start page, which I think is fabulous. You know, if you want to change it to Google or DuckDuckGo, you can do that. But here you do have options to go home, forum, chat, Mastodon, and some videos. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, etc. So that's pretty neat. DistroWatch lists it as 121 popularity, and country of origin is in Russia. This is their homepage, calculate linux.org. This is where your journey will start, and I think I covered a lot of this, so I'm going to skip over their homepage and going through it because the link's right here. Still getting the two pages concerning the same thing, but I want to point this out in their header up here, or the link. It shows wiki calculate Linux, and the next one says https old calculate Linux. So this is apparently older project, and here's the newer one. Same thing on system upgrade. You get one that's calculate Linux, and then you get the other one that's old. So they both pretty much say the same thing on the upgrade. Upgrade CL update is how you do that. And it does come with its own firewall built in, and it's not enabled by default. So you'll have to enable it if you want to use it. And it's called SureWall. It's already installed by default on Calculate Linux, xfce-spin. I can't swear about the other ones. But if you do a search for the SureWall, you'll see, bring up terminal here. So that would be search. And I have alias set up, apparently, obviously. So there it is, and it is installed, the latest version. So let me minimize this. I'm going to bring up my notes real quick and go over that, because some of this I went over before, but this right here is what you see when you on that page about how to update, CL update. When I first when I first installed Calculate Linux on this machine using a SSD, after I rebooted, came onto my desktop, immediately I signed in as root and I run CL update. And that basically replaces everything that got installed from the ISO and replaces it with an up-to-date, right now system. It takes a few minutes, but it was well worth it. CL update you can do just to sync only if you don't want to really update your packages. Sync, you can sync it with a -s. SSH is not enabled by default. You will have to enable it. And right here you can find a list, and I'll put this list in my show notes below. This is software that I've got, and actually there's a couple things that I've gotten that's not in this list. Can't remember what they are right off, but you know how it is. Flatpak, you can go right to this website right here and get set up. You go to flatpak.org, setup, pick out Gentoo, and it'll tell you these three commands right here. Echo into your accept keywords, and then install it, and then add the repo and reboot. I'm pretty sure I covered this, so I'm going to skip on past that. VirtualBox, you can go to this website right here, wiki-gentoo.org, wiki VirtualBox, and follow their instructions, and right here they are. The only thing you won't find there is I installed QEMU. QEMU. So you won't find that there. I did that on my own in preparation. I'm probably going to install Virt Manager and maybe gnome boxes. I'm not sure. Right now, I don't really have a need to. So, yep, that all worked. So firewall, like I said, they have one called Shorewall. Here's that link we just looked at. And if you want to get it to start by default, run rc update add Shorewall, and you want it to run at boot. Don't want to wait until it gets into the login. You want it to start immediately. There are other options. There are other options for Calculate Linux. You do have the uncomplicated firewall. You do have Firewall D and IP tables, and there are some other ones. You can find them on that list of applications. This one right here, Firewall D, that may require System D. I'm not sure. I didn't install it. I'm not going to. But if you run into a problem on OpenRC, that may be it. Swappiness. Originally on this machine or Calculate Linux, the swappiness is going to be set for 60. For some reason, I turned it all the way down to 10, and I created this file right here, or directory, and I included it, VM period swappiness equals, in my case, I wrote 10. All right. Calculate Linux passwords. Okay, so this is going to be, it's a little different than in Gentoo. Here, you have to go into xfce pamd sys-off. See, I can get this where we see both entries here. Get it out. So right here under required, password required, it was originally 888888, 5/8. I changed it to 5/1s, saved it, and now I can do any password I want to do. Okay, so one more thing they're going to cover is ZRAM, and I'll show you right here on -S. We can see that we have the 4 gigabytes swap space that I gave it, and it's using 8 gigabytes of RAM or ZRAM. When I first installed this and looked, it doubles, gives you 200% of whatever your RAM value is. And in this case, I had 64 gigs of RAM. It gave me 132 gigs of ZRAM plus the swap I gave it there. So that was just too ridiculous to me. So I got an alias set up that'll run Thunar as root. We'll go find it here. Under File System, xfce conf-d, and at the bottom we should see ZRAM. Now I am running as root, so I'm going to open this up with LeafPad, and you'll see right here it says disk size 8 gigabytes. Originally it said 200% of my RAM, so I changed it immediately. You can use percentage, or you can use a capital K, M, or G from kilobytes, megabytes, gigabytes. I gave it 8 gigabytes of RAM, or ZRAM. That was plenty. And like you see right here, now we got basically a total of 12 gigabytes of RAM. Right here. So we got 62 gigs of RAM and 12 gigabytes of swap. Under the file system now, I've installed quite a bit of stuff, got everything that I think I'm going to need. And you can see I've only used 44 gigs. You'll also notice I did not use a home partition, a separate home partition. I'm putting it all on one. Later on, if I wanted to need more room, I can always add an additional hard drive, and that would be the plan. So that's going to about cover it for Calculate Linux. I tell you, I'm still impressed with it. So impressed, I put it on this machine with a SSD. And I didn't really show you the machine. Let's see. Machine is a Dell Precision Tower 3620, 64 gigabytes of RAM. Under graphics, we are still only using X11, don't even have X-Wayland support, and everything seems to work just fine. I am using Pipewire, selected that during the installation. Let's see, one thing before I get out of here, let me make it a little bit bigger. Let's run HTOP, and that's with Firefox running, 7 or 8 tabs there, notes open, OBS running, run HTOP, 1.9 gigabytes. Under memory here, it says we're using 2.59, so less than 3 gigs anyway. So, like I said, that's going to do it for Calculate Linux. I'm really having a good time in Calculate Linux. I did have a major problem on my first install. Not on the install, but after running it. I've been running Calculate now on this machine about 2 weeks. And the first week I was incredibly happy, just like I am now. But one morning I woke up and I did something stupid, and it I'll go into that later. I'll give more details on what actually happened to me and made me reinstall this system that we're looking at now. And I'll go over that soon. So that's going to do it for this video. Calculate Linux 23. Give it an install. If you like whatever desktop you like, it's available. Most major desktops are available. Peace out, guys. Bye.